Welcome back to FM Storey. We're firmly in the run into the end of the season, in season 5 of our Save with Sporting. We're firmly in the driving seat to secure our 4th successive title with 3 points clear with 8 games left to play. We've got the second leg of a semi-final of the Taca de Portugal coming up where we've got a 4-0 aggregate lead. We've also got the Allianz Cup final coming up against Braga towards the end of April as well. So all in all, we could possibly pick up 3 trophies in this episode to make it 4 for the season along with the Super Taca. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get going. It's Allianz Cup final day and we roll into the game in some pretty decent form. In the first game since the last episode, we went away to Maritimo. We created loads of chances, but struggled to take them. In the end, we came away with the deserved victory. Valentin Carboni popping up after a corner had only been half cleared to get the winner in the 81st minute. We then went away to bottom side Penafiel, took an early lead through Rodrigo Ribeiro. Gabriel Menino then got his second red card of the season for another wild lunge on the half hour. We kept things pretty tight, and then Tanguy Nyanzu doubled the lead in just after the hour, and then Carboni made the game look a lot more secure than it was with a goal in injury time. But with creating chances, we've taken them. We were pretty secure at the back again as well. We then went away to Estrella Amadora, who were second bottom of the table. Restricted them to 1 shot on target in the whole game. A much better performance for the full game. Asimovic scored a great goal in the first half to give us the lead. Thiago Thomas added a couple of goals in the second half after he came on. And Marcus Edwards added a goal in that late on as well, just to round the game out. A nice, comfortable 4-0 victory away from home. We were then at home to Estoril. Valentin Carboni was outstanding in this game. Got an early goal, got a late goal. Krastev added another one as well. Despite the fact that we scored early, neither team really did anything for the vast majority of the game. It was a pretty dull game, but in the end, we still run out comfortable 3-0 victors. We were then at home to Boavista. Again, really comfortable. Like we actually came out flying out of the blocks. Valentin Carboni scored in under a minute. Merita scored in the 3rd minute. We had a penalty in the 6th minute, which Marcus Edwards missed. He made amends for that in the 17th minute with a goal, and then made double the amends with that just after the half hour by slotting home the second of the penalties that he took. But yeah, it was, we blew them out of the water in the first 15-20 minutes, and they were never going to get back into the game after that. And then in the most recent game, it was the second leg of the Taca de Portugal semi-final against Lexos. What we did basically was we made 10 changes to the team that played. So the only one that played the previous game was Giancarlo Estevez at right wing back. We got off to a great start with a goal from Ismail Assar. Thiago Thomas doubled the lead after 22 minutes, and then he added an extra one late on for a 3-0 victory on the night, 7-0 victory on aggregate, and we've got another cup final coming up at the end of the season against Famalicao. And before we get into the Allianz Cup final, just to look at the league table. With 3 games left to play, we're 5 points clear of Benfica. We are 8 points clear of Porto, but they've got a game in hand. So obviously we're in a pretty strong position here. But if we do slip up, I mean, it's going to take a fairly big slip for Benfica to make up 5 points in 3 games, especially given the games that we've got left. But they do have the head-to-head over us, so we do need to be a bit careful. You can see from the fact that we don't have anyone near the top goal scorers, we've really shared the goals around this season. But yeah, everything's looking good for a 4th title in a row. So, going into the final, we've reverted to the team that has been our first choice team throughout the second half of the season. Hopefully we're secure enough at the back, and we should hopefully be able to create enough chances to be able to take some goals against a Braga team that did well to knock Porto out in the semi-final. Estevez with the throw, Sugo swings it in, Ribeiro nods it down, Carboni scores, What are they? Surely that is not offside. There's defenders everywhere. Hugo swings the crossover. Ribeiro nods it down. Carboni scores. I can't see how that could be even close to being offside. Well onside. There's two of them playing them on. Anyway, we're in front. That's all that matters. Festive nicks it. Ribeiro looking for Carboni. Was he onside? Simovic powered a shot at goal. Keeper can only parry it. And Ribeiro's there a yard from the goal to tap it in. A nice ball by Ribeiro. I thought Carboni might have been close to being offside. Holds it up. Simovic takes it, just smashes it a goal. Keeper gets his hands to it, but only as far as Ribeiro to tap in, and we're 2-0 up. Got to say, in a cup final, you couldn't really want more than that. 2-0 up at half time. We've looked for it every time we've got the ball. They've had one shot, which was that free kick, which hit the bar. Other than that, they've not had anything. We can keep it tight at the back. The trophy's ours. Free kick outside the area. Krastev to step up. The wall mustn't have been placed very well, because that went round the wall at like hip height by the looks of it. You can see the corner of the goal. He pings it in off the post. Great free kick. Right, we've made our 5 changes just to rest some players for the rest of the league season. We've got a couple of games that we need to get our best for. Martinez at the back. To Maria. Look at Carboni. What a ball. What a finish. And that's 4-0. Lovely ball by Maria. Carboni just fires it across the keeper into the bottom corner. Bear's nicked it off the defender there. Got Carboni up in support with him. Defender half tackles him. Gets to the byline. Marcus Edwards. That was all about Ribeiro, though. He won the ball. Continued just to drive the defence, even after he'd been tackled. He got himself up first, got the ball, drove past the defender again, pulls it back for Edwards to hit first time across the goal. Goalkeeper looked like he went down in installments, but we'll take it, and we're 5-0 up. And there we go. Game over. Comfortable in the end. I think it did help that we were able to rest everyone pretty much from that second leg of the Taca de Portugal. So that we had a pretty fresh team going into this game. But we've won it. Come away with a 5-0 victory. Second trophy of the season after winning the Super Taca against Porto in August. And hopefully we're going to add the league and the Taca de Portugal to that before the season ends. It is Taca de Portugal final day, and we go into the game looking for our 4th trophy of the season, because we managed to wrap up the league title. In the end, it got a bit nervy because we drew our penultimate game of the season, which meant going into the last game of the season against Famalicao, who we play in the cup final, we had to avoid defeat to make sure we managed to win the title. Obviously, if we'd lost and Benfica had won, which they did, then Benfica would have been champions because of the head-to-head. It did take a bit of getting going in the game against Famalicao, but we won fairly comfortably. The only downside to that was that Goncalo Estevez got sent off in injury time, so he's now suspended for the Taca de Portugal final against Famalicao. Or it turns out he's not suspended. I did see he was suspended for one domestic game, but it's allowed us to pick him. The one positive in their team from our point of view is that nowhere in the team or on the bench is Keith Amua, who has developed a habit of scoring against us in the last couple of seasons. Hopefully we've got a strong enough team that we can just go out there and dominate from the off. Not a great deal happening in this first half. Diamande cuts that ball out. Ruel back to the keeper. Diamande, Ruel. Plays it into Krastev, back to Ruel. Cross to Diamande and Nianzou. Krastev to Sugo. A long ball by Sugo. Look at Carboni. Got him behind. Pulls it back to Simovic. Squares it for Morita, who goes down. A bit of a scramble, and it looks like it's hit Ribeiro and gone in. I don't know that he knew an awful lot about that. So Carboni lays it back to Simovic, who lays it back to Morita, who went over looking for a penalty. Carboni passed it to Krastev, who hit the defender. It came off the defender onto Ribeiro and then beat the keeper. He knew nothing of it, but we'll take it. Krastev wins the ball back. Carboni to Ribeiro, back to Carboni. And he dinks it over the keeper. And that puts us in a really strong position in this final. 2-0 up just before half time. And things are looking good for the 4th trophy of the season. Just takes it wide of the keeper, just dinks it over him. Diamande onto Estevez. Sugo wins it back into Ribeiro. Looks for Carboni behind the defence. And that's 3-0. And that's got to be the cup coming home. This is the one domestic trophy that's eluded us so far. And looks like in the 5th season we may finally be winning the Taca de Portugal. We have been massively helped by the fact that none of the other big clubs made it to the semi-finals, but you've got to win the game still. The lovely ball by Ribeiro gives the defenders no chance. Carboni gets in front of them and scores. To be 3-0 up in the cup final, stopping your opponents having a shot on target. Can't hope for better first halves than that. Now we just got to make sure we don't do anything stupid and we finish the job. Krastev with another corner. They've headed clear as far as Edwards on the edge of the box. Defenders went the opposite way away from him. He just drifts into the box and just lashes it past the keeper on his right foot. They headed clear and then no one on the edge of the box. Then when he drifts into the box, everyone seems to go the opposite way. And he just fires it past the keeper, and that's 4-0. And there we have it. 4th trophy of the season, the one domestic trophy that has eluded us. We've added the Taca de Portugal to the Super Taca, to the league, and to the Allianz Cup. Now, based on what happened last season, we're going to end up getting a load of offers for players that we've got, so it's going to be the key task for the summer is going to be to try and strengthen the squad, but also try and keep the best players that we've got as well. And next season, we need to do better than we did this season in Europe. We went out of the Champions League with a whimper. We need to do better, and hopefully we can defend all of these trophies as well. It's time for the end of season review, and I think this will be quite a lot of fun with those 4 trophies showing on the screen there. So first of all, to look at the signings. Apparently the signing of the season was Philip Jorgensen. I mean, yeah, we did only spend 3 million for him, but he always looked like he had a clanger in him. And we signed Juan Musso for just over double that to play the second half of the season, and he performed better. So the board are happier with the Musso signing than the Jorgensen one, yet Jorgensen's still signed in the summer. Dragan Simovic was a great signing. Somehow we found him, 18-year-old that we spent 2.5 million on. Just made his debut for Serbia, and he's been a star. For someone who is so young to have played so many games and to have contributed in some very big situations, couldn't have hoped for a better performance for him. Jose Sarr is what it was. It was he came in as a backup after Dragovski left, and he only played a handful of games, and yeah, he was only there to make up the numbers, really, just in case we had any bad injuries. Verratti was basically, we signed him because of his name. If I'd properly looked at his attributes, and he was physically shot, basically. His legs were gone. Every time he actually played, he seemed to pick up an injury. And then with the contract being one whereby if he plays a certain number of games, he was going to get a new contract, we basically had to freeze him out. And he's retiring at the end of the season anyway. So it was not the best deal that we've done. But you live and learn from it. Leandro Martinez we picked up from Argentina. Obviously more a one for the future than for now. But good quality backup to provide depth behind Nianzou, Diamande and Ruot. In terms of the players we sent out, Matthias Rice didn't do an awful lot. Marcus Leonardo's already got 12 goals for Bayern Munich. So Albin Lafont, really, I think in hindsight we probably would have done better to keep a hold of, or try to keep a hold of a bit more, but it's not really cost us in the end. Marza, had I known we were going to go to the three at the back, I would have probably kept a hold of him just for the extra depth at centre half. But I mean, 10 million for him when he wasn't going to be involved as a regular. The same as 12.5 million for Manu Silva when he wasn't going to be involved as a regular. It's just too good of money to turn down. As far as the league's concerned, the board weren't only expecting us to qualify for the Champions League. They weren't expecting us to win it. We did win it. Valentin Corboni was our top goal scorer with 17 goals in the league. A+ rating. Again, like last season, we only lost one game. This one was away at Benfica, and we were 2-0 up and 3-2 up in it, and managed to lose to practically the last kick of the game. We drew too many games. I mean, I think we drew 4 of the first 9 games, which had us looking like we were a bit off the pace. But that run from the Maritimo game through to the Santa Clara game, I mean, we didn't really concede that many goals in that period. Did we concede 2 goals in that period? That was the main thing that put us back into the title picture. And then after the Benfica game, we only dropped 4 points. 2 draws, everything else was a win. And after the Benfica game where we conceded 4, we only conceded another 1, 2, 3, 4, another 5 goals in the whole season after that. So yeah, the players really, really turned it on in that second half of the season in particular, and were deserving champions. Now, as far as the Champions League was concerned, they wanted us to be competitive. We were reasonably competitive in the league phase. We won 5, drew 1, lost 2. But then in the knockout round, in the playoff round, Ajax was just too good for us on both days. And we went out with a bit of a whimper. Taca de Portugal, the board wanted us to challenge for it. Obviously, as we've just seen, we did win it. We actually didn't concede a goal in the competition. I mean, it helped given that the semi-finals were Lexus, us, Famalicao and Santa Clara, but we'd already put Porto out on the way to there. And yeah, I mean, going the whole competition and not conceding a goal, you can't ask for more than that. And I mean, they were comfortable wins in pretty much every one of those games. And then the Allianz Cup, again, we didn't concede a goal in that competition either. The board just wanted us to be competitive. We went and won it. That's 3 times in the last 4 seasons that we've won the Allianz Cup. It seems to be one of our favoured competitions. So, yeah, great stuff. And then obviously we started the season with victory in the Super Taca. 2-1 over Porto. And obviously it is a bit of a glorified friendly. Just getting people up to speed as well. But we went out there, we won the game, and it's another trophy. The match to remember is that game against Porto in the Taca de Portugal, where We were 1-0 up half time and then they lost their heads. They had 2 players sent off in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and then we were comfortable and added a couple of extra goals late on to see us through. Finances, I mean, a lot of that will probably be down to the Champions League, losing out on extra revenue there. As far as the shirt sales are concerned, I would have thought prior to selling him, Marcus Leonardo was probably top of that. But I'm a bit surprised it's Carboni rather than Thiago Thomas or Roberto Ribeiro that's the leading shirt seller. And then how we lined up is a strange one. I mean, the back half of the team is exactly how we lined up. I would suspect we probably played more with Rodrigo Ribeiro and Carboni up front. But obviously they've gone with Thomas and Ribeiro. I mean, we definitely shared the goals around more this season than we did last season. Obviously last season Marcus Leonardo scored 51, but you got 21 from Ribeiro, 20 from Thiago Thomas, 12 from Philip Krastev, who really came into his own this season in that centre midfield role. And obviously we know that Carboni got 17 just in the league. So Carboni, Fans Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season. Signing the season with Jurgensen, which I still don't get. And Goncalo, the rest of it, had the worst discipline with 16 yellow cards and 2 red cards. I mean, both of the players that we played at right wing back, Goncalo Estevez and Gabriel Menino, have both been sent off twice since we went to that formation, and we don't have get stuck in on or anything like that. And there we have it, another season done. And that's the end of another episode, another season. The season, in the end, couldn't have gone much better. It started off a bit ropey with all those drawn games at the start of the season, but to end up with 4 domestic trophies, yeah, like I say, it couldn't have gone any better. Obviously, the aim for next season is to do a bit better than Champions League because we went out with a whimper. But all in all, we need to bask in the glory of this season and then look to strengthen the squad for another campaign. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time to see what we do in the summer.